Karyakarani, matlab. That's 13 members. The Pratinidhi Sabha has 262 odd members. Matlab, point is, they have never been to the party.
Of course, the only chink in that submission, I mean, we must put it to you straight so that you can deal with it, is that that was not the process which was originally followed when the chief whip or the group leader was nominated, unless we also postulate that when the group leader and the chief whip were originally nominated, Uddhav Thackeray was acting as the party.
Yes, because he was neither a member of the council nor was he the chief minister. He was nothing. He is the Paksh Pramukh under the constitution.
One thing, as Brother Justice M.R. Shah pointed out very clearly, it's obvious that the appointment and the nomination of the group leader and the chief whip was made at a meeting of the MLAs. Now, because it clearly says Amdarancha Baithagit.
But answer that straight away.
But it is also in the presence of Mr. Thackeray, and the MLAs begin by saying that we are assigning to Mr. Uddhav Thackeray the right to take all decisions.
Right.
Then they pass a resolution at a meeting of the MLAs. So it's a sort of a hybrid situation where the group leader, power to nominate a group leader and the chief whip is delegated to Shri Uddhav Thackeray. But there is a, so to speak, an anointment of them at the meeting of the MLAs. So the only way really that the two can be reconciled is by postulating that in that sense, at the original meeting, Mr. Uddhav Thackeray was the party. He was, whether you like it or not, he was the party. It was not a meeting of the national executive. It was not a meeting of the plenary of the party. But he was really the whole and soul because he was not an elected member at that point of time at all.
He was the president, of the party.
He was the president.
Paksh Pramukh.
He was a Paksha Pramukh.
Yes. It's very interesting your lordship raised this. Let's analyze it. Let's analyze the circumstances against me. Let's assume this all can be done within the legislature. I'll assume that, that the party has no role. So, therefore, 50 people in the House can actually have a leader in the House without reference to the party. If that logic is accepted. 50 members of the House can actually oust the party whip appointed by the party. That's the consequence.
When were the elections held?
2018.
The first document at page PDF 14.
23rd January 2018.
17th February 2018.
No, but that's the communication, but the elections are 23rd January 2018.
January, it speaks about that.
Yes. The point that I'm making to your lordships is, this is unheard of in any democracy, in any legislature.
Elections were held on 23/1/18, you said, right?
23.
Yes. It will be entirely unworkable. Because you will then say that there is no relationship between the members of the legislature and the party. They are independent of the party. They can take whatever decision they like. It will be destructive of, if you ask me, the basic structure of a system of governance, which allows the party and the legislatures to be intertwined in matters where the decisions have to be taken on various very significant issues as they come up in the assembly or in parliament.
Well, you can tell me later, but what I want to know, this letter speaks about organizational elections.
Yes.
It talks about organizational
That's correct.
elections. So what are this? It is to the different tiers, is it?
Yes, it's in different tiers.
There's something called a general body, is it?
There is a Rashtriya Karyakarani, which is the national executive, 13 members. Then there is the Pratinidhi Sabha, which is about 262 members.
What is at the bottom?
Sorry?
What is representing the general body?
Pratinidhi Sabha.
Pratinidhi Sabha.
But of course, you can't hold a meeting of all the members of the party all over Maharashtra.
I'm just asking for information.
Yes. So there's a tier system. There's a tier system.
Is virtually like a general body.
Yes. There's a tier system by which people are both appointed and elected.
In
Appointed,
Prathinidhi Sabha.
yes, Prathinidhi Sabha.
And Mr. Sibal, possibly this line of argument of yours is also buttressed by 2B of the 10th
Yes,
schedule,
yes.
which says if he votes or abstains from voting in such house, contrary to
the
any
whip.
direction issued by the political
That's
party
correct.
to which he belongs,
Yes,
or by any person or authority authorized by it in this behalf.
that's correct.
So the whip is really a person who's authorized by the political party.
That's correct. That's correct. That's how it functions. That's how the
Because the direction has to be given by the political party. It can't keep on giving a direction. It's a larger body.
Yeah, that's right.
So therefore, it delegates its power and it authorizes a person who will then issue a direction on which way to vote in the assembly.
In matter when it came up before the Law Commission, it will be disastrous for democracy, disastrous for the country if the legislature party is allowed to act independent of the political party.
So the actual whip, without, it says, or by any person or authority authorized by it in this
That's
behalf.
correct. I read that.
So
Your Lordship, yes.
yes, so the party really nominates or authorizes a person.
That's correct.
And the act of defection lies in
Correct.
voting or abstaining from voting contrary to a direction given by the party or by that person.
Whereas I
who's
want to
authorized
ask
by the
myself,
party.
supposing there's a bill in Parliament, the legislative party on its own can't decide what the position will be.
Right.
It cannot. Naturally, there'll have to be consultation with the party. Because they are not living in a side, they are not acting in as a separate entity.
They are really really the voice of the party in Parliament or the state legislature.
That's correct.
It's the political party.
The genus is the party, they are the species.
Yes.
Yes.
The political party which either sends the MLAs who, because of majority, form the government.
Yes.
Or they could even send members of legislative assembly who will be sitting in the opposition.
That's correct.
So nevertheless, the controlling factor
Has to be the party.
will be the political party.
Yes.
Which will, through its MLAs, operate either as...
Because they are there because of the party.
Their mandate is the mandate of the party.
That's correct.
And therefore, how they function in the House is determined by the mandate which has brought them into the House.
That's correct. Exactly, Madam.
You have no and I think that seems to be a fair understanding of the 10th schedule also.
10th schedule
has to be linked to it.
Mullahs, you have to maintain the integrity of the political party within the House, its programs, its views on reservation, its views on the 10th schedule, its views on Mullahs, foreign policy. Individual members of the legislature don't decide on foreign policy issues, Mullahs, the party decides. And party systems are such that you have committees where people who are in the past also, who are members of the party, who have experience in foreign policy, who've been ex-ministers of foreign policy, they become members of the committee, they advise the party as to what position should be taken, and a matter comes up, the legislators are only told that this is what should be done. Within that framework, you can make your case out.
So they articulate the views of the party in the House.
That's correct.
Yeah.
One important distinction is... Sorry.
Go ahead.
No.
Yeah, you tell them.
Just to take 15 seconds, a bizarre example of how the party governs. Very interesting, apropos, Lordship, because I happen to be chairman of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Law in 2011, and the most contentious Lokpal bill came. We had a report signed by all except 3 dissents. 3 dissents are all, every 31-member committee, which is a mini parliament, everybody signed, all political parties, 17 political parties. Matter went to Rajya Sabha. All of them supported the report because they had signed it. Overnight, whereas the party stand of one particular party, I'll not name it, changed. The matter came to Lok Sabha. The same party which has signed took a different stand in Lok Sabha because the instructions from the party to the legislative wing of the Lok Sabha was that no, this has to be opposed. Lokpal has to be opposed. This is in the record of Parliament. So, well, as the party decides, this is an extreme example that the party which had agreed with the report actually opposed it in Lok Sabha because the members, well, are only legislators, but they received the instructions. It's an important, well-known regional party, but the policy changed that no, we must oppose Lokpal, therefore it was opposed in Lok Sabha. So that is the best validation of this kind of example.
Any number of examples like that. Any number of examples.
It's a reverse engineering.
It's a political issue on so many other factors.
The legislative members controlling the party is actually reverse engineering.
Yes, Your Lordship is right. Exactly. Therefore, these documents become exceptionally important because they will determine the outcome of this litigation. If you give validity and legality,
So, Mr. Sibal, we have seen all the documents now?
not yet, Madam.
All right.
I'm
No,
just-
because the next step, I was going to request you to formulate it in 2 or 3 submissions for us, but you can complete the documents and then
Yes,
give us a
Madam, yes.
brief formulation of 2 or 3.
No, Madam, then I have to read your lordship some judgments which actually deal with this.
Before we go into the judgments, you can just formulate it for us in
Yes,
2 or
I
3
will.
submissions.
I
We'll
will.
take it down, but
I will.
let's complete the document,
Yes.
then the formulation and then the judgments.
Give me those. Yes, let me just quickly go through the documents now.
Yes.
So page 52 I've read. Then kindly come to Madam's resolution of the meeting of the Shiv Sena Maharashtra Legislative Assembly 1919 to 2024. Madam, that document is at page 50, PDF 55. Now, Madam, this is what is passed. Very interesting.
What is the date?
Madam, it is signed. It's signed by Bharat Gogavale. Very interesting document. This tells you the story, Madam. Resolution of the meeting of the Shiv Sena Legislative Assembly. Maharashtra Legislative Assembly 1919 to 2024. We, the following members of the 14th Maharashtra Legislative Assembly, belonging to the Shiv Sena, we are notified as the members of the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly as members of Shiv Sena Legislature Party. We had unanimously elected Eknath Sambhaji Shinde on 31st October 2019 as group leader of the Shiv Sena Legislature Party. There was a pre-poll alliance between the Bharatiya Janata Party and Shiv Sena Party for the 14th Maharashtra Legislative Assembly. There has been great dissatisfaction prevalent among the members of our party, Shiv Sena, and our party cadre at large on account of corruption in the government, administration regarding police posting, corruption by then Home Minister so-and-so, sitting minority minister so-and-so. Apart from above reasons, our party cadre faced tremendous harassment and distress on political as well as personal grounds from the opposition, ideological parties who are now a part of the government and were using their office and power to undermine the base and foundation of Shiv Sena. There is enormous discontent amongst the cadres of our party, Shiv Sena, for forming the government with NCP and INC, who are ideologically opposed to our party. There has been a compromise on the principles of our party, Shiv Sena, which has been a party of fierce ideological base and was formed for fighting for the rights of local Marathi people. For the last 2.5 years, our party and its leadership have compromised party principles by aligning with the contrasting ideologies for the sake of achieving power. The ideology of our party leader, late Uddhav Thackerey, was to give a clean and honest government to the people of Maharashtra, and also without compromising on the principle of Hindutva, which was defeated on the first day itself by aligning with the opposing ideologies. Shiv Sena and Bharatiya Party has forged a pre-poll alliance for 2019 Maharashtra Assembly. They sought the blessings of the voters of the Sena-BJP alliance, which the voters accepted and voted in favor of alliance. After results were out, the Shiv Sena severed its ties with the BJP and formed an alliance with the opposing parties, which they had fought against in 2019. This act of our party leaders had a tremendous negative impact upon the voters and the party cadre. There was a continuous hue and cry towards party leadership for the act of aligning with the opposing parties. Ignoring this, party leadership went ahead and formed the Maha Vikas Aghadi government. For the last 2.5 years, we, the Shiv Sena Legislative Party members, were facing tremendous pressures from the electorate. We, the members of the Legislative Party, as well as all leaders and workers throughout the country, were facing a lot of humiliating questions. Our leader, Uddhav Thackerey, was always a strong nationalist. We've also been subjected to a lot of criticism for being part of the corrupt Maharashtra. In view of the above, the members of the Maharashtra Shiv Sena Legislative Party have met today and resolved this under. What have they resolved? Hereby resolved and reaffirmed that Shinde, who was appointed as leader of Shiv Sena Legislative Party, is and continues to be the leader of the Shiv Sena Legislative Party of the 14th Maharashtra Legislative Assembly. And this is Mother's proposed and seconded by members of the legislature. And I hereby further resolve that Bharat Gogavale, elected and appointed as Chief Whip of the 14th Maharashtra Legislative Assembly, is cancelled with immediate, and Sunil Prabhu is cancelled with immediate effect, proposed and seconded. Now, Malas, there is no reference to any meeting of the party. There is no reference to any grievance made prior to this date. They are all members. He was serving as a minister for 2.5 years. There is no reference to any grievance that he has ever had. No reference. No reference to any statement he made in any organizational election. No reference.